I think there's a bit of a misconception that people who have a porn addiction are like this big, sort of overweight, like weird person who plays video games all the time, just laying down, creepy, really creepy. Yeah, and I think that's kind of what TV does in the media, but I think your average person who's addicted to porn is like just your average person like you'd see out and about. And actually, I mean, I'm not saying this is necessarily true, but I think because there is a bit of a culture online of, right, self-improvement, part of self-improvement's quitting porn, a lot of guys who go and try and quit porn are actually the sort of people who are interested in self-improvement and are really into that world already. So like a lot of the people that I work with are kind of going to the gym all the time or in really good like shape, maybe got good jobs, very driven, and yeah, it's just been quite interesting to realise that actually there isn't like any definition or real look of what an addict is. I remember like about a year or two ago I was out with a close friend called Harriet, and I'd actually just had a relapse. I was feeling really bad, and we was on a walk and we were talking about porn addiction a little bit, and I was just like saying to her about how I felt and stuff, and I can't really remember how it came up, but yeah, she was really shocked when I told her what I thought people would perceive a porn addict to be like, because she actually was like, oh, well, anyone can be a porn addict, you know, I wouldn't see them in that light. But I used to be on this app called Brain Buddy, and it kind of got you to imagine like Voldemort being like your addiction or something. And so it kind of gave me this idea that if I'm addicted to porn, I'm like Voldemort, which probably isn't the best. So, yeah.
It's like monkey on your shoulder and all those like analogies. But what I found, because obviously, as I said earlier, like when I was driving up, I was listening to Jason's episode, and it was what came to light for me was like the label of it. Like, I know for me, when I was going through sort of my mental health issues, I craved a label. I really wanted a label, but I wanted the right label. And that's obviously my personal experience. But as I kind of went through life and did my training, I realised that actually a label can be quite detrimental to people. You know, when I was doing my training, we had like a whole lecture on labels and diagnosing and how detrimental that can be to a person.
Wow.
And it kind of was like, oh yeah, actually, like, because once you've got a diagnosis, especially maybe, you know, a psychotic diagnosis like bipolar or schizophrenia, and also I'm an addict, you are then immediately stereotyped and immediately put into a bit of a box of like, oh, that person can't be trusted, or I don't want to be around that person, or that person can't have fun. Like, so I do think with labels, like they do stick with you for a really long time because of that sort of stereotype, and people don't want them, you know, which kind of leads on to the whole, are you an addict or are you just a person who had an issue with whatever it was, porn, sex, food, alcohol,
definitely,
drugs, like everybody has something, in my opinion.